Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, assorted members of the jury, and everybody and their mum, not already aforementioned, named, whatever you want to say, it's time to present Age of Mythology in all of its glory in the top side of the map, spawning in as the blue Loki. It is Gaboo, the 21st Gaboo there ever was. His opponent today is Requiem, as he's playing Odin. I say Requiem without any care in the world because he is some sort of smurf, or he's a completely new player and I've never heard of him. But he's very, very strong. Both of these guys are very, very strong. And we're going to see ourselves having a fantastic little Norse mirror here on the back of this little apartment. I don't know what I'm saying here. I've lost my mind. It's been about a week since I've watched any serious Age Mythology games, and I am raring and ready to go. We got the 9 cauldrons here, which is going to boost up those Huskal for both players. I've got a question in chat that am I part Greek? Look, yes. However, I don't have... Yes. I'll just go with yes, and we'll just leave it at that. I'm part Greek. All right, on the top here, we've got this Fatalfari Sledge here. Fortress set to 0. Favor cost. Over here, we've got the Kui Drum. This one's going to be making those heroes get some regen. Super good for Gaboo. On the bottom side of the map, there is Demeter's Throne here. Another really, really good relic actually for Gaboo. There is a really cool little bit of tech that you can do with Loki that, I don't know, people are probably somewhat aware of it now, but let's just give a little brief recap. The day was launch day. Retold came out. Everyone and their mum started scrambling for the best strategies out in the world. And one man came forward and said, you know what? I got this. His name was the Mister. He decided to run around the map, plopping houses everywhere for the very, very cool, cheap price of 40 wood. And with that, gave him effectively map hacks. The devs came down from their iron thrones of office chairs and discussion and said, no, that was silly. Let's redo it. We'll make it just units. All right. Eyes in the Forest went from everything to just units. Everything that gave the line of sight to just units. What was left was a really interesting thing that people kind of didn't quite work out, which is, well, one of Loki's bonuses is that his ox carts cost half. All of a sudden, we can use our ox cart, which has line of sight and is a unit, to activate our Eyes in the Forest. So, long story short, even though I told the story already, Demeter's Throne here is good because you can get cheaper ox carts that are already cheaper, and you can plant them all around the map, and you can get yourselves that map hacks type thing that the Mister was going for way back in the day. So don't sleep on it. It's good. The difference is that, well, a house, if you take a look, is 405 HP with 40% hack armor. Quite a lot of HP here. If we take a look, 750 effective hack hit points versus a ox cart, which is 120 HP, 171 effective hack hit points. Plus, it's got a reasonable amount of pierce hit points there, as opposed to an unreasonable amount of 4,500. So yeah, you can kill off an ox cart much easier than you can kill off a house. So devs have said, we like it. Leave it in there. It's okay. You're allowed to have fun. Just have fun on our terms. That's the way that it works. That's the way of the world. Anyways, we see Freya coming through here for Requiem, and we see Force City coming in for Gaboo, as the game is going to be taking place on Giza, and we're going to be seeing some fun stuff here. It is a Norse war, which oftentimes these can end very, very quickly and very, very abruptly. In fact, you could have one fight and these are going to be over insanely fast. That's just the nature of the Norse war. You fight over a little bit of hunt, you win the fight, you win the game. You defend the fight, and then you push back and you win the next fight and you win the game. That's kind of what has been known to happen quite a bit. Nonetheless, Longhouse coming up for Gaboo. We'll see if that happens in this game. Loki versus Odin is a bit of an interesting dynamic, in my opinion, because the Loki player has got a couple of ideas up his sleeve that can help him kind of get through all the madness without having to commit to anything. One such thing is quickly getting yourself early zebra in front of your base before you eat all your hunt, and then wandering back into your main base to eat the deer nice and safely while building up the defensive fortifications. Well, fortifications are one way to say it. The defensive building placement so your opponent can't run through your base so obnoxiously, right? And you can play a defensive game where you're all good. But we aren't seeing that from Gaboo. Gaboo here, he is going to the bottom side of the map at the moment, grabbing a goat. And it looks like he's going for hyena, which is absolutely absurd. Also rhinos. He could be coming down here for these hyena as well as the spied Valkyrie coming in, taking a quick look at what Gaboo sees here. He is going to be getting a little bit of damage over onto this side. We do see a cheeky little Herser having a go at this berserk as Gaboo will need to be careful here. He does not want to lose this Herser. Meanwhile, over here he's on this hyena. And does our red player see this? No, he doesn't. There's nothing here. There's just a little cheeky bit of blackness, and Gaboo's going to get away with, is it 300 food here? No, a little bit more. 375 food on that little position there, as a couple of Herdmen coming through, getting a couple of stabs. Not quite able to take out the raiding cavalry, as that one will be escaping with its life and potential for the Valkyrie to heal it back up. So that's always nice. As the next thing here on Gaboo's agenda is going to have to be, he's already got it, Hall of Thanes. Herser, now nice and quick. Has to be careful with them though. One really interesting idea would be, normally you run around the map with the Herser and you go for little raids. But against this, you might get caught out and lose those units. But if you just sort of bring the Herdmen along and sit kind of behind the situation, you can have a really, really good time there. As the army coming through, Gaboo using this spy absolutely beautifully at the moment as a forest fire gets dropped down. Gaboo, does he lose anything? Answer, no. He does lose a little bit of idle time on this position, however, as our red player Requiem, he wants to get onto those villages. He sees them out in the middle of the map. He's like, let me kill them, damn it. And Gaboo very wisely says to come, it's time to maybe move back into my main, but no. Gaboo is a master of this. Let me tell you, he is an absolute master of the bait and switch. There's no reason, there's no realm where this is a good move from Gaboo, outside of the fact that maybe, just maybe, as Requiem moves his entire army over here, maybe, just maybe, your opponent misses this. Requiem doesn't miss this. Gaboo has to run away, and he's been idled with these 7 villages for a considerable amount of time now. As Requiem comes through, and he's probably going to finish off this Rhino now. Take the favor, enjoy that, as the game continues along. I do have a question. How's my granny? My granny is very, very good. 90 years old. Going strong. Downed a bottle of wine with her. It was fantastic. Onwards and upwards. I did go. That's what I had a holiday. I went for a very rare holiday back to my hometown. I haven't been there in forever. Hasn't changed much. But I did see some whales. That was nice. Came up. We were in the boat. I know we're watching Age of Mythology here, but anyways, we were in the boat and we went out whale watching in the boat, obviously, and we were seeing the whales kind of like 100 meters, 200 meters away from the boat. I was like, oh, it's nice. At least we get to see some. Normally, you don't see any on these types of things. Like, whatever. And then towards the very end of the cruise, it was not a cruise. It was very uncruisy. The waves were, anyways. The whale comes around, pops up, does this little thing, turns around with its head like this, and he just hangs out with us for like the next 15 minutes, which is really nice. Anyways, that's my that's my story. I'm not going to say that word, Coke Recycled. No, I refuse. I don't know how. I don't speak English. I'm not an English native. I don't know these words. And the village is out on this side. Gaboo is still trying to get hunt here. He's got goat. Eat the goat. Nonetheless, Requiem sees it. He says, get back home, mister. The Herdmen will come through here. One villager going down. One raiding cavalry going down. Great split off there from Requiem. Only losing one raiding cavalry, taking out a villager and all the rest of that HP there. With that move from Gaboo that was gigantic. If he gets out of here without any other losses, that was a really, really good raid. Looks like he will be able to get out. He's going to be able to heal up if he gets another Valkyrie. He does lose a couple of units over here, unfortunately, though. So not the most ideal situations there. But that's the type of raid you want. You want to get in, snipe, get out, enjoy. Meanwhile, Gaboo says it's time to go to the heroic age. He's getting up a market. He's got that Bragi coming through. He's about to run out of gold. This is classic Gaboo shenanigans here. He does manage to snipe off one raiding cavalry. The other ones are going to be able to get over here. Meanwhile, over onto this side, the Longhouse going to be getting taken out on this one. Where was I watching Wales? Port Macquarie. I know that you guys are interested in this. Port Macquarie, lovely beach town for retiring. The population, or the average age of population, or not the average age, the people who live in Port Macquarie, there's two types of people. There's people with families who are normally over 30, and there are old people. And there are obviously the kids. There are no 20-year-olds in that town. No one in their 20s. They all leave, and they might come back. Anyways, onwards and upwards. Requiem starting to muster up quite the force here. The problem for Requiem is that Bragi is coming in, and there will not be any answer to a flaming weapons apart from running away, which should then give Gaboo the opportunity to throw a hill fort down. As the dwarves running forward, get spotted, running back, running forward, running around. As there is now the heroic age in Requiem. Sees the units. The dwarves will be onto this gold mine, but the Raven is sitting there. No, they're just hanging. They're just like, what's going on? You were telling me about idle time? I don't care about idle time. What does idle time matter? I'm going to hang out on this gold mine. 3 of these dwarves, no worries. And then I'm going to attempt to kill you as you're going to try and push me off this position. Great play from Gaboo. Requiem here, good control, good patience at the moment. He needs to get heroic age and get his frost in for an easy counter to flaming weapons. But Gaboo is going to be able to now get a fairly free hill fort up, which should be enough to protect this position. I'd love to see a little cheeky wall coming up over on this side, just so that if Requiem wants to push through here, it's going to take a little bit longer. He's going to have to take some damage, and it's going to be all fine. The hill fort is probably worth around about, let's have a little quick think about it, 33. It's probably worth around about 8 to 10 population, depending on whose numbers you want to go by in terms of added defense here. So if Requiem just attacked right now, he could probably break through this because he's got literally 50 more population than his opponent, but he doesn't know that. As the raiding cavalry are going to swing around onto the right side, going to be attacking the hill fort. Units are out of position. Herdmen coming through. Dwarves make a quick break for the hill fort here. And Requiem going to be retreating away. We also see this big technology coming through Swine Array. And so that's going to be a huge boost to those Herdmen as now Gaboo finally gets his first little attempt at some damage onto Requiem. Requiem will not be ready for this in the slightest. Loses one villager with one swing of the hammer. 2 villagers going down, and Gaboo will say, that is enough. Let me get out of here. He's going to move his infantry into position to defend against any sort of raiding cavalry that are going to be chasing him away. I love this little play. There's some raiding cavalry coming around the back as these raiding cavalry all getting sniped down. Great catch there from Gaboo. He's got that swine array, so these bad boys are going to absolutely dominate this fight. However, with the throw and axe in there, it's going to be too much for Gaboo. He's trying to retreat to this town center or this settlement that's going up. I'm not sure this is the best choice right now from Gaboo. He does have the hill fort to fall back onto as now Requiem hits the heroic age through Skadi, which gives him frost. However, he's not ever going to want to use that frost. He's going to want to hold on to it unless he's got some other really sneaky idea. Holding onto it just to disable heroic age god powers basically from the game. Don't want to allow the flaming weapons to come through. Don't want to allow the frost to come through. there's a general bit of a treaty mode going on with those two god powers. If someone drops one, it can be the end of their game because their opponent is going to be able to get full value from theirs, right? So if someone drops the flaming weapons first, then the army will get frosted. If the army gets frosted first, then it will pop out and then click flaming weapons and be completely fine. There is one other option where you half freeze the army. You go for a 50% army freeze and then you kill off as much as you can. Then your opponent might be able to just run away and then get the army back in and then flaming weapons and then kill you. Anyways, I don't know. We do see if there's throwing axeman over here starting to get just a little bit of damage done. Hersa getting sniped down. You really can't run into those throwing axemen here. And this, I was saying at the start of this game that Norse Wars, they end up finishing up really quickly. This one doesn't seem to be going that way. This is going to be a bit of a slog, I think, as both these players just jostling for position all over the place. As we see a longhouse coming up onto this spot from Requiem. And he will be able to, and we will see Gabu taking this one out with the Herdman here. All these Herdmen, though, out of position might trigger Requiem to say, all right, let's just attack over here and get some damage done. He still doesn't have himself a second town center. He's full army, full send. He's got all the units in the world in his queue at the moment. He's got that bronze armor coming through as well as ballistics, targeting down the town center with a Herdman out of position. Might seem like a good idea, but there are so many trolls here. However, he doesn't have Hammer Troll. How do you have 7 trolls and not have Hammer Troll is the big question that I'm asking Gabu right now. Just for those of you who don't know, this technology makes the charged ranged attack damage area go up by 1.5. Plus, it also boosts it by 100%. Which is, okay, on the one hand, just boosting the damage, the area of effect of it from, what is it, 2? So 1.5 to 3? That's just a gigantic, that's more than 100% bonus because you're going to get more units hit. Every extra unit hit, that's like another 100% damage or whatever you want to call it. It's more than 100% because of the way circles work, right? At least I think. I could be wrong on that. I've been wrong before. Anyways, the tech is just must grab once you get probably, I would say it's almost, well, I'd say if you get 2 trolls out, it's probably worth grabbing. Because you're going to build more. Trolls are just the best. You want to get trolls. Nonetheless, great positioning here from Gabu. Fends off this raiding cavalry attack as Requiem now attempting to dive in to take out this forward position. Longhouse going down for Gabu as the thrown axeman here can target it down without taking any damage from the town center. 18 range, 14 range. That's enough to at least finish that one off. He's taking a little bit of damage up onto the top here. But Hell is now on the way. Gabu has gotten a 2-town center Hell off here, which means he's not going to fall behind on villagers by going to the Mythic Age. He hasn't lost anything just yet. And Requiem, he's also going to the Mythic Age. He's trying. But what's he going to be able to do? Go Fimble Winter? Drop and try and get a huge amount of kills with that Fimble Winter? Could be the right idea. Or does he go for a Ragnarok here? Well, I mean, the question is answered. He goes for a Ragnarok, but he doesn't have any answer to a Nidhogg here. This is what makes Gabu's play here so good. He sees the army, which Requiem's got. He's got a fully popped up army. He doesn't 100% know that there's no town centers here. Could be, might not be. But he's got no answer to the Nidhogg at this very moment. However, Balder gets a free Fire Giant. And there's enough in favor for a secondary Fire Giant, which should be enough to deal with a Nidhogg. You can kill off a Nidhogg very, very quickly with a couple of Fire Giants because they do bonus damage versus Myth units. They're very, very strong as well. So he should be totally fine. Meanwhile, well, we'll see. We'll see how it's all going to go as Hell coming in right now. Got the raiding cavalry over here, pulling back as the trolls popping forward, trying to take out those throwing axemen. Not quite able to do so. But nonetheless, Gabu is ready to go. He is now in front on villager count. He's got the Mythic Age. He's going after the hill fort. And Requiem, he can't even attack this. These herdmen chew through the raiding cavalry. We are going to be seeing the Nidhogg plopping down onto this side. He is hunting, absolutely hunting these throwing axemen at the moment, if he can get I mean, he doesn't even need to use the special here. He can just fly over and just start killing them. This is going to go up very quickly, this town center. Gets 1 shot off, 2 shots off. The 3rd shot's off, and he does manage to pick off a couple of units here, but now the town center's up, and the Nidhogg will have to retreat back. Great delay here from Requiem. Manages to keep himself in the game, but he doesn't get a god power he can use right now. You can't really click. Okay. Maybe you could click Rag here. Just get out the extra flaming, what's it called? Fire Giant? Get the extra Fire Giant out, right? Push forward. You can frost the army with the full amount of Rag Heroes and Fire Giants. Pick off the town center, pick off this. Sit on this gold mine, sit on this gold mine. Should be enough. I mean, yes, there's a bunch of throwing axemen here, but nonetheless. There's the Rag. He pushes off this position. He says, it's time to go. It's a 20-minute Rag here. He's going after the villagers on the top side. We'll be able to pick those off. There are other villagers on the bottom side here, however. The only issue here right now for Requiem, which I don't like, is he really doesn't have any siege pushing potential here. But he does have Frost, so he can Frost. He can take out the hill fort over here or a town center or something, and then take the fight afterwards. Even against flaming weapons with the extra military, it should be perfectly fine and reasonable to go for that. Nonetheless, hill fort going to be going down. We see another hill fort coming up now for Gabu. Is he getting himself all the upgrades he needs? He doesn't have masons in just yet. That's the big tech to immediately grab as soon as your opponent clicks Rag. If you've already got masons, click architects. That's going to keep your buildings alive for much, much longer. Nonetheless, the hill fort on the back here will end up completing as Requiem is going for it here. Flaming weapons gets dropped. That is not what you want to see if you're a Gabu fan right here. That was what I was saying you don't want to do no matter what here. But Frost is now down. Units are going to start moving over to the villages. Gabu quickly says, all right, time to... I made a mistake here. I can see that. Time to run, but he's going to be losing a couple of dwarves on the run. No, nonetheless, as over here we've got Gabu coming in. He's going to have a little bit of a disengagement with those trolls and the fire giant as well here, as he throws those boulders but misses everything. As the Nidhogg over here is ready to join in. We'll see if he can get in and get that damage done. The Goatee already targeting it down as it's going to be retreating into the town center area. Units here for Gabu, sitting back, waiting, watching, as Gabu's army here is likely going to melt after this. He does have the champion upgrade advantage. He does have 1 hill fort, but there's just an overwhelming presence of Requiem units at this present time. Gabu with 0 gold in the bank. He's got 0 gold in the bank. There's a Raven at the top here. There's no way to sneak a gold mine against Odin in this position. However, there's still 61 villagers, and let's check it at the market. He can sell food. There's plenty of food he can sell right now. He's got 1,300 in the bank. He sells it all. He's going to drop a whole bunch of longhouses. He doesn't really have that many at the moment to build these throwing axemen, which is what he needs to deal with the Rag heroes. Villagers sitting idly over here, trying to do a little sneaky and maybe move back over onto this gold mine. Not going to be able to do so. The Nidhogg here doing work on a pack of throwing axemen. This is what Gabu needs to bring himself back into this game. Over onto this side, throwing axemen getting pulled all the way back in to the town center as Requiem is all over Gabu at the moment. However, he doesn't have the army, it looks like, to break into this main base right now. Throwing axemen popping in and out. 1 fire giant, no real pushing power, but there's no hill forts in the main base. So maybe he can make this work. All he's got to do is run around. The villagers here actually chasing after the Rag heroes is kind of interesting. See if he can manage to sneak a gold mine or not here. Villagers starting to come back through for Requiem. He's got 4 onto food. So at this stage, he will be able to continuously build villages. However, he has a mountain to climb to get himself into an equal position. Right now, if we do some quick math, which is going to be very quick, 600 resources a minute per 10 villages. That's going to be 3,000 resources in a minute at 50 villages. He's only behind in military resource value by 5,000. Look at me. Look at me doing math here. That's absolutely crazy. Look at me doing math. He's only behind by 5,000. So even though Gaboo has no gold, it really doesn't matter. He can just keep selling. Just get himself back up to full pop. He grabs a town center. This guy's crazy. How is he grabbing a town center and just put a hill fort up? At the very least, a town center is not what you want. But nonetheless, the army now coming into the main base. Can Requiem break through here or not is the big question. Gaboo sitting, waiting, watching, selling. Up to 300 gold. Ready to build some more Herdmen out. That's not the unit he needs now. There's really only 5 raiding cavalry in this group. What are the Herdmen going to do? Obviously kill the raiding cavalry, but those are going to probably die to a town center or something like that. Losing that one over there as well is not ideal, as the Nidhogg still trying to get in, trying to snipe. The market is up on the back now. More houses coming through. Requiem needs something to help boost his economy just that little bit more now. Does he have a market in the corner of a map somewhere? It's an oak. It's a terrible market. It's not good. Don't start a trade route. It's never a bad idea to go into a trade route here if it's a good trade route as the Rag aggressor, because you know you're just looking to cut. You're just looking to cut stuff. Nonetheless, villagers now sneaking the gold mine. There's no units at the top side of the map here, as Requiem breaking through. We will see the raiding cavalry moving up here. And the Herdmen, this is what the Herdmen were for. Gaboo is 10 steps ahead of me, as he is going to be moving up here to try and take out these raiding cavalry, sacrificing a couple of villagers on a gold mine. That's fine here. That's fine. He wants to snipe the units as Requiem tries to get as many kills as he possibly can. And now more villagers coming through. And Requiem is going to have to move everything up to the top. He does manage to steal the healing spring. It's going to bring everyone back up to full HP. A house coming up. All the villages in the world on top of the gold mine. Gaboo now sniping units as they're trying to get up there and get just a little bit more damage done. But the army is slow. And guess what Gaboo can do? He can say, all right, I see you coming. Let's just move these villages over onto this gold mine now. Sure, there's a longhouse there, but it doesn't matter. A couple of villagers getting sniped into the main base as Requiem still trying to just find his way through this position. Villagers popping into the town center, trying to break it, make a break for it back into the main base. The Nidhogg not able to get in here just yet. Still has to somehow snipe off those 3 Goaty here. He does have the special ability with the Nidhogg. He can fly in and try and take down as many of those thrown axemen as he possibly can. But it's not going to happen just yet. As the Valkyrie now coming in for Requiem, he goes, all right, I can't kill the Herdmen with my raiding cavalry, but Valkyrie, they're a good unit. They're good against those Herdmen. They can take them out. Sure, it's got 47% hack armor, but look at the damage. It's got 16.3, plenty of HP. So if he gets enough of them out, he can sit on a gold mine and just absolutely erase villagers, no problems. But the longer this goes on, and we already did the math on it, if he was grabbing gold normally, he would only need 2 minutes, and he's back up to equal military resource value, right? It's been more than 2 minutes. Sure, he's had to sell a whole bunch, but still. Requiem still trying to bash in here, knocking at the door. The Nidhogg waiting, watching. He could sacrifice it by charging in just to get that damage done. Mountain Giants coming out now as well, as Gaboo desperately trying to just get some sort of a military in. Not the best of units here. You could try and sneak it around and maybe go up to the main base, take out the main town center or something like that. Up to 21 villages now, still behind by over 40. As another Mountain Giant coming in, laughing as he spawns. More Mountain Giants queued up here as Gaboo looking like he's getting ready to actually take this fight. The Fire Giant getting sniped there as well. And Requiem pulls back. Requiem now thinking about getting himself this Sons of Sleipnir. If you can actually make some... I mean, he still has to break through Herb, and there's only a couple of them there. But if he can... He's got those raiding cavalry out. It's not a terrible idea. We'll see if he's going to be able to wait it out or not. As the Nidhogg coming through. Getting pulled back, though, as the Goatee getting that damage in. Sons of Sleipnir is now through, so those raiding cavalry will absolutely dominate the Thrown Axeman. But is this going to be enough? The military value for Gaboo does look to be dropping incredibly quickly, as the villagers, however, have managed to get onto the gold mine while this is all going on. Little bit of damage done, broken through just a little bit there onto the army. There's still Heroes of Ragnarok remaining, so these Mountain Giants are still not going to be that useful here. As the Nidhogg flapping back over here. Goatee taking the Nidhogg out as well, as Gaboo not paying attention. Takes even more damage here. You can actually dodge those arrows as well. There is ballistics in, but you can actually dodge the arrows with the Nidhogg, I think. If you do a little bit of diagonal dodging. Another Mountain Giant does get spawned there. The villagers get pulled off of this position as the raiding cavalry coming in decides to turn and fight it. But more raiding cavalry to come through as a little bit of equilibrium into this villager differential going to be coming through. But Gaboo could just convert these into village berserks at the moment as the Mountain Giants on the front tanking. And this was the grand plan here for Gaboo after all is said and done. He said, I don't mind if you got those Heroes of Ragnarok. I've got Thrown Axeman to take him out. The Mountain Giants are going to tank everything else. And then what are you going to do? It's almost an equal military difference here. And yes, Gaboo still doesn't have a gold mine, but he is able to keep fighting in this game, able to get an army back out, and we see the Nidhogg at 165 HP saying, no gold for you, Sonny Jim. As the Goatee comes through, get a couple of shots off. Nidhogg has done its dash, done its damage. Wait, has it done its dash? I totally missed it. It still hasn't done its dash, actually, as he's going to be pulling that one back up to the top of the map. As the game still goes on, it's a dead even in terms of population, but one player has got way more income than the other player. That being said, if you take a look at how much the gold is worth, it's about 5% of the income. So we may as well be equal here on income as well, right? We may as well, as Requiem pulls back yet again, still trying to figure out a way to get in, kill this army off, and get this strangle happening. Walls coming up to the top here to try and just deny this gold mine. This should have happened during the Ragnarok. This is the best way to prevent this type of sneak. But nonetheless, the village is pulling through here. Requiem can spam out a couple of berserks here if need be, as the villagers coming in, getting a little bit of shanky shanks in. And over onto this side, the Thrown Axeman going to be coming through. And as the gold mine gets secured here, all of a sudden, well, Requiem is in another little bit of trouble. He's got himself 296 favor, though. That's enough for a frost. He can frost this position if he wants to. He can absolutely frost this and just idle all the villagers. There's no problems there. Or frost the army, for example, and then just kill the villagers. Lots and lots of options with all this favor. Could even forest fire the trees here. He does decide to drop that frost onto the army as he comes around onto the side here. The villagers are going to turn around and start shanking here, but these are heavy raiding cavalry. But taking this damage is going to hurt, as this game here looks like we might be heading towards some sort of equilibrium on income after all is said and done. All the villagers going down over here. It's 28 to 40 at the moment. But I think Requiem needs to get out of here. Can he win this fight? I don't know if he can. These are champion units. There's Mountain Giants everywhere. There's no heroes in at the moment for Requiem. This might not be winnable. There's also an Ironry here coming around onto the top. As a raiding cavalry do have that Sons of Sleipnir technology. That there are, I told a lie, there are 3 Goatee. That's not really enough to take out the Mountain Giants. The Requiem Thrown Axe was not target firing the right thing at the moment as the Ironry blows that horn. And is this where the fight... Will this fight be the end of this game is the big question. It's looking like it's still very, very equal. As Requiem says, no, it's not going to be the end of the game. I'm going to run. He retreats back. He's only behind by a handful of villagers at the moment. This army over here getting taken down. The throwing action coming in, going to get a little bit of kills on the retreat here. But this game is absolutely wild. This game is absolutely wild. Are you kidding me? Throwing axeman coming up to the top side here now. We got a whole bunch of raiding cavalry. We got the Goaty coming in. And Gabu says, it's time for a town center. Gabu's been saying, I want to play 2 town centers the entirety of this time. Requiem's been like, didn't you get the memo? Norse Wars, we play 1 town center. We play 1 town center for 35 minutes and 40 seconds. And we never dropped that second. Actually, never mind. He did drop a town center, right? Over here. And that one died. Okay, never mind. Requiem also wants to go 2 town center. Anyways, will he? Maybe it's time. Another Great Hall coming up for Requiem. Gabu going to be pulling up to this healing spring, getting himself healed up. He's got himself back onto the gold mine now. So now looking for some villager picks. This 1 Requiem Berserk could be huge. Drop a longhouse, make some dudes, come and kill this. A couple of raiding cavalry coming in, ready to snipe. Just a couple more villagers. Requiem knows this game here. It might say 36 minutes on his screen, but this game feels like it's 15 minutes into the game. This game feels like we've just reset the clock. We've just reset the clock in this one. So every villager kill matters. Town center coming up for Requiem. Still no champion infantry in. Can't afford it. Jarl's coming through now. This is a big amount. This is a good unit to be building at the moment. Tanky also has that Sons of Slipnir upgrade. So he's going to be getting that bonus against ranged as well. How much does it get? 2x versus range. So with that huge base damage as well. That's going to be hurting. As the raiding cavalry can chase down these Hersa. I think the Hersa could probably have turned around and fought that. They might have got a myth unit spawn and won that fight. But nonetheless, the mountain giant march coming through. Look at that. There's 7 mountain giants here with an Einhuri. Jarls do not have that ring give attack, so not going to be able to get any bonus damage in. The queue here is huge for Kapu at the moment. As Requiem just trying to snipe units here, trying to keep himself going. There is a differential on the income, but I don't know how much it matters. These mountain giants, they look scary, but are they? As Requiem going to be retreating back. He could drop a forest fire onto this spot. If he could somehow get the units snuck in here, he could definitely get that damage done. He's almost got enough for another frost here, however. 215 favor. Another option could be just to spam out Valkyrie. He's up to the top side. Hersa getting cleaned up. Market going out over here as well. More houses to come through. As Requiem wandering in, going to be taking out the armory, taking out the longhouse. And the town center to fall next. I mean, these mountain giants can literally I don't know if they can literally one-bang it, but they could basically take it down in a matter of moments. As the frost does get dropped onto this one. There are a couple of units here that are getting ignored, however. And this is the hardest part about using frost this way, is actually getting your units to not attack frosted units. It's kind of easy if you've got the ranged units, but the melee units is not quite so easy. As a fire giant joining in, there are a couple of heroes in, though, for Requiem. How many does he have? He's got 6 Goaty. That's not bad. So that fire giant will get cleaned up pretty quickly. Good control there from Gabu to retreat back. Was the raiding cavalry coming through still? Has to deal with this. This has not been the best micro from Requiem in this moment. He's still targeting down these. Throwing axemen as Gabu turns, is ready to go. It's 3.5k to 6.5k. It looks like Gabu is managing to take this army out. And I think with that, I'm not sure what Requiem is going to be able to manage to do, as he does decide in that moment, after all is said and done, after the journey that he went on there, that the game is done. And a one-fight Norse war that would normally be over in 8 minutes turns into a 40-minute epic. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Age Mythology. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't have much else to say other than congratulations to these players. An incredibly well-played game from both sides. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the follow button, the share button even. If you've got friends who are thinking about playing Age Mythology, this is a great showcase of what this game is. I'll see you guys in the next game.